26, 2024 Hay City Commission meeting to order at 4 p.m. We have 4 commissioners present, 1 excused. We'll look at the minutes from the last meeting. Anything?
I have no changes.
Next, I have the privilege of swearing in our new city clerk. So if you join me in front here, Jamie. I told her this is the first day of the next 40 years of her life. That's how long That's the way it is. Are you ready? I'm ready. Good. And you're going to work for him? Yes. Okay. Well, just so you know everything before we start. Okay, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jamie Bright, do solemnly swear that I will support
I, Jamie Bright, do solemnly swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United
the
States
Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and faithfully discharge the duties of city clerk
and faithfully discharge the duties of city clerk
of the city of Hays, Kansas, so help me God.
of the city of Hays, Kansas, so help me God.
Very good. Congratulations. Thank you all for coming. It's much to be proud of. Something special.
Now we have some questions about your knowledge of the Constitution of the State of Kansas.
You never want to get caught in a room with this.
No, that's very true. Congratulations, Jamie. Well deserved.
Yes, congratulations.
Look forward to the minutes for the next 4 years.
And I was serious when I said nobody has to stay. We'll move on with the agenda, unless you would love to listen to the financial report.
Don't run.
That's how I clear a room.
See you guys.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Okay, we'll have, are we there? Am I following along? Yeah. Financial statement, Mr. Rupp.
I apologize for the delay in this and having to add it on, but software is a wonderful thing when it works.
When it works.
And it works.
This is a financial summary of revenue and expenditures for the City of Hays, month ended November 30, 2024. Revenues in November totaled $2,581,190. That's a decrease of $433,000 compared to the same period as last year. So notable areas of increased revenue: airport improvement revenue increased $1 million as reimbursement from FAA was received for several projects, including the SRE building and runway 422. Notable areas of revenue decrease: sales tax was off $1.2 million due to timing of receipts. We make a period adjustment in the report below. Ad valorem and motor vehicle taxes were off over $68,000, also due to timing of receipts. This is the normal annual miscellaneous distribution from the county anyway. Expenditures in November totaled $4,869,446. That's an increase of $2.2 million as compared to 2023. So notable areas of increased expenditure: November included a third payroll, therefore the salaries line in all funds was up a total of $460,000. Other contractual and repairs to buildings increased $18,000 due to entry sign refurbishment and shade structure covers replacement out at the sports complex. Leading the large increase mentioned above is $1.2 million in capital projects as the AMI project begins with an inventory of meters and infrastructure. Another large year-over-year increase was in other contractuals for communications as the city fulfilled its commitment to Ellis County in the amount of $692,000. A new working baler, finally, for solid waste was installed. Those expenditures were up $125,000. Design of the east multi-use path increased projects for special parks, $30,000. And repairs to structures and water reclamation rose $149,000 for the ongoing manhole rehab project. Notable areas of decreased expenditures compared to November of '23: airport improvement was off $365,000 as construction on the SRE building was gearing up a year ago. Parks improvement fell $16,650 for dog park fence and lighting installed last year. Month-to-date general fund sales tax collections were at $757,183, which was a decrease of $63,538, or a negative 7.7% as compared to last year. Year-to-date sales tax collections were at $8,951,000, up $15,530, or just 17 basis points as compared to last year. The 6-month average was up 1.34%, which was a year-over-year decrease of negative 3.69%. Year-to-date, county sales tax collections were at $1,060,000, which is a year-over-year decrease of a negative 11.67%. The report of top 10 quarter-to-date sales tax collections by classification was up 12,000 or 37 basis points. These top 10 represent 73% of the total sales tax collections for the running quarter. Finally, the total par value of the U.S. Treasuries for November was $9,717,000 with a weighted average yield to maturity of 4.3% or up 0.5% from a year ago. Total of the portfolio certificates of deposit on November 30 was $60.4 million with a weighted average rate to maturity of 5%. Total balance of the money market account on November 30 was $3.3 million with a current yield of 3.773, down 0.385 from a year ago. Total investments were up $2,280,063.
Make a motion, we approve the November 2024 financial report.
Second.
Been moved by Commissioner Musil, seconded by Commissioner Barrick. Any other discussion or questions of Mr. Rupp? Not, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Approved 4-0. Citizen comments.
Hello, Adam Prey. I had I guess more of a question than a comment, but we have 2 spaces in front of Gella's that are parking spaces. We would love to transfer our current unloading dock from the Couture for Men building, which is on the north side, to in front of Gella's. We don't use it from Couture for Men. We would use it in front of Gella's, so that would be my question more so than a comment. And I have not measured the spaces. I think we can get maybe 3 spaces, but at least 2 where that current loading, unloading zone is in front of the Couture for Men building. When I say in front of, it would be on the north side.
On the north
between
side.
that and the library, yes.
Appreciate you coming up. I think I would have staff look into that for us and see if there's any possibilities that works for that. Would that?
Yeah, we can look into it. I am aware of it. Adam called a couple weeks ago, and I know
Okay.
Colin, I believe, has had a brief conversation about the question. So, yeah, I'd be happy to look into it. If that's what
I certainly understand why you would want that. I also understand we could set some weird precedents if we start doing things like that. That's why I'm going to let staff give us a recommendation and go through it. Is there any other comments from the commissioners about it?
Not at this time.
Yeah.
No, I think once staff has what they need and we get everything measured out, we can always check it out for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
if we really don't use an unloading zone someplace, adding a couple parking spaces to downtown is always a premium.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that I would agree with. Yeah.
If there's 3, and Adam said he's going to take pictures and measure, and
I'll measure it.
he'll get back to Toby and or us. Adam, thank you very much. We appreciate everything you're doing in downtown.
Thank you, Adam.
Any other citizen comments? The consent agenda, we have a boundary resolution. It's an annual, we do annually, and I have a couple mayoral appointments. Both of them they're not new. One is Amy Schaefer, and the other one's Cindy Elliott for the Care Council. They do a wonderful job, and they love what they're doing. So I would ask for approval of the consent agenda.
I move approval of the consent agenda items A and B.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Reuter, seconded by Commissioner Barrick. Any other comments? Call for the vote. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Passes 4-0. Okay. Highway 40 lift station replacement. Mr. Crispin.
Good afternoon, Jeff Crispin, Director of Water Resources. The capital improvement plan within the CIP, within the 2024 budget, includes $750,000 to replace the sanitary sewer lift station on Highway 40 west of the Hayes Regional Airport. City staff solicited construction bids from qualified companies for the replacement of the current lift station. The lowest cost bid was presented by APAC of Hayes, Kansas, at a cost of $754,916. The Highway 40 lift station is on the bottom right of this photo along Highway 40, just south and east of the city limits, and it's located within a white star on the map. Here's a closer view of the lift station, again with a white star. The station collects sewage from the east as well as from the north. The green line that runs north and south on the right side of that photo is both 18-inch and 21-inch gravity sewer mains that basically collects sewage from the east side of town. I'm going to add in a couple things that we talked about during the work session last week. Basically, east of Canterbury, north and south east of Canterbury, from I-70 all the way down to Highway 40, the majority of the area does collect to these 18 and 21-inch mains that run north and south. Currently, Hayes High School is connected to this line, and the future Hayes High School being constructed right now is also connected to this line that runs north and south. This is a close-up view of the current lift station circled in white. The existing Highway 40 lift station was originally constructed in 1984, and the station is within the 100-year floodplain. And just to the right of that visual, you can see the trees there, and that's the waterway that crosses Highway 40 lift station, or that crosses Highway 40, excuse me. This is a photo of the current site looks like. The pumps and electrical for the station are recessed underground, and the station has been subject to flooding in the past. Most notably 2017, 2018, and 19, when it was pretty darn wet, we had a couple times where this lift station has been flooded. With the passing of the school bond in 2022 and the resulting increase in students in the area, sanitary sewer is expected to increase. The reconstruction of this lift station will ensure our system is prepared for additional growth on the east side of town and address the equipment's proneness to flooding. The wet well underground is being expanded. It's being replaced and expanded, basically, where it currently is. The current wet well is 6 foot in diameter, 10 foot deep, and the new wet well will be 8 foot in diameter, 10 foot deep, allowing for longer fill times of our wet well and less cycling of the pumps. Recently, within the last month, you guys commission approved engineering and design for water and sewer to serve exit 161 along I-70 north and east of I-70 and Commerce Parkway exit. Sewage from this area will eventually make its way to this lift station. This is a photo I used last week. This is what the new proposed lift station would look like above ground. I will add that it would actually be raised up above floodplain, so there'll be some dirt that will be added, and then that will sit on top of it, so it'll be above ground and above the floodplain. A little bit of history on the project. So Earls Engineering, we hired them in late 2023 to design the improvements and adequately size a new lift station to accommodate current and future flows in this area. When I say all that, they asked us questions and we provided information such as growth in the area of 22nd and Wheatland, the tall grass additions that go all the way up to I-70. South of that area, there's some potential growth going to be happening. Also along Commerce Parkway near the micro factory, and then obviously exit 161. So all those things were discussed when we discussed what size of pumps and lift station that this would need to be designed to do. We did have some easement concerns with the original proposed lift station that they designed, and we went back to make sure that the lift station fits within our current easement, so there would be no issues there. We did solicit bids on November 26, 2024, and we opened 2 of them. APAC of Hayes for $754,916, and then also Nowak Construction of Goddard, Kansas, $971,407. And I did spend a little bit of time since the work session discussing this with Tom, our project manager, also with Jason, our former superintendent. We went back and looked at, there were some questions on the bids and why dollars were different. And we think some of the dollars were just put in different areas. I will also say, due to some previous projects within the last year or two, we've seen Nowak be a little bit higher in some of their bids. So it wasn't, nothing seemed out of the ordinary, but we did go back after that question at the work session and looked at those numbers. If you award this today, APAC intends to substantially complete this project between 270 and 315 calendar days. USD 489 intends to open the new high school in August of 2025, and then between then and January of 2026, so on January 2026, students would move into the current high school, the middle school students, basically, so we would have all students on that campus, and that would have that additional sewer flow from that campus. Project management would inspect this project in-house, so I have no issues with that. We had the $754,916 will be paid from sewer capital. As I mentioned, we budgeted $750,000 in the CIP for 2024. Adequate funds do exist to cover the additional $4,916. So today you have three options. You can authorize the city manager to enter an agreement with APAC of Hayes for construction services, direct us to another option, or do nothing. And this would be the action I am requesting.
I move to authorize the city manager to enter a contract with APAC of Hayes, Kansas, in the amount of $754,916 for construction services related to the replacement of the Highway 40 sanitary sewer lift station to be funded from the sewer capital.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Reuter, seconded by Commissioner Barrick. Any further discussion or questions?
Yeah, if I just have a question, the current lift station was built in 1984, correct? So it's 40 years ago. Why would they have built that in the floodplain and not do what we're doing now?
I think at the time, well, a lot of it depends. Location is based on topography. So you have a certain area that you have to locate that lift station so it can push sewage. It lifts it over the next hill to get it to the wastewater treatment plant. So you are very limited to where it actually can go. And so it's based on topography. So that's the general area that they had to go at the time.
Sure. Okay. No, I
I
seen.
think more to your question was, why did they build it below grade?
Yeah,
in a
yes,
floodplain?
yes. Just
Good
because.
question. Yeah,
Yeah.
just because.
Just because.
Sorry, thank you.
No, no, that's fine.
No, and we have no idea knowing why they would do it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it wasn't
Weren't the original
sustainable long term.
FEMA maps we used anyway were from what, 83?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
So it was only probably planned before that we adopted those
Right.
maps anyway.
And as I had mentioned at the work session, I didn't necessarily mention here, the problem there with that wet well too is that it is leaking. So groundwater underground is getting into that wet well, and that causes the the well to run more. And so any groundwater that we're treating, we need to stop that too. So we're doing both. We're getting a new wet well that's sealed, and we'll also put the pumps and motors, everything above ground.
Do we have any semi-public sewer districts that utilize this lift station at all?
No.
Okay.
No. Big Creek Sewer District, which would be the closest by that area, it actually connects to our gravity sewer system closer to the wastewater treatment plant.
Okay.
Nothing does go into that lift
Okay.
station.
If they would ever have to readjust for some reason to the lift station, would that be able to handle that capacity?
It would, but based on the location, which is back to the east from that sewer district, we wouldn't want to. They wouldn't go. They'd have to pump it backwards.
Okay,
To
gotcha.
get to it.
Okay,
I hope
that
that
makes
answers
sense.
that.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
So were you a Boy Scout?
No.
No? I was just wondering because, the whole motto is be prepared. And when we're talking about expansion of growth of new housing, get a new school, new developments, this was definitely going to be a needed thing. So anytime you're ready to ask a question, yeah, we're going to get this done about the same time the school's built. Because you got all of those things answered. You've thought of it ahead of time. And I think that's one of the things I always applaud about you and the different
Department.
city departments is that being prepared, planning ahead, and knowing what's coming up and what we need to do. And I think just want to appreciate that sort of thinking ahead and planning.
And doing that without having been a Boy Scout. That's very good.
Yeah.
Good job, Jeff.
Anything else? If not, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Passes 4-0. Thank you, Jeff. Now we have the Jared Kuckelman Show for the foreseeable future.
Thrilled, I'm sure. So good afternoon, Jared Kuckelman, Assistant City Manager. So today we're here to talk about an award of bid for the CDBG Chestnut Suites project. It's just a bit of quick background. Earlier this year, the city did receive an application from the developer Chestnut Suites LLC to apply for $300,000 in Commercial Development Block Grant, or CDBG funding, through the Commercial Rehabilitation Program. The developer owns the existing building located at 1108 North Main in downtown Hayes. The plans for the site involve renovating the building to become a luxury short-term rental Airbnb called Chestnut Suites that would have about 24 to 26 rentable rooms available. Notice was received a few months ago that the grant was being awarded, which has allowed the developer to proceed in seeking bids for construction. So here's the location of the building right off Main Street. Here's some photos of the building as it looks today. along with some preliminary floor plans showing the different kinds of rooms that could be available for rent. So while this project isn't a direct city project, CDBG guidelines require the City Commission to be the one to award the bid to the lowest responsive bidder. Bids were solicited and the bid opening was held here on December 12th. One bid was received from Robin Construction of Hayes in an amount of $484,500. This bid is for the Phase 1 services portion of the project. Phase 1 will include some certain concrete and masonry work, some of the roofing and window repairs, and then some of the work on the building's plumbing. So Phase 1 is going to be the portion of the work that involves the grant funding. So while the overall project cost is much larger than this bid, the bid for Phase 1 is only for this select portion of the project. And this is also the only time that the City Commission has to be involved in the bid process. Once again, the grant being awarded is for $300,000, which will be provided once all necessary documents are approved. No city costs are anticipated as the developer is solely responsible for the construction costs. So these will be the options before you today. You can award the bid, not award the bid, or provide other direction. And this will be the action requested.
Award the bid for, I will make a motion that we award the bid for Phase 1 services for the Chestnut Suite CDBG project to Robin Construction and authorize the mayor and city manager to sign on behalf of the developer any and all of the documents necessary for the construction of the project.
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Musel, second by Commissioner Reuter. Any questions? I have one question. You may not be able to answer it. We may have to ask Mr. Prague. I understand because of the historic nature of the project, nothing can be done on the exterior for 5 years, but when was the start date of that 5 years?
I would not know the answer to that
Yeah,
question. so.
sorry. We need to have a mic we can pass around, I think.
Adam Prey, excellent question. The start date is the finish date of this project. So when we
Really?
get done, which is approximately 12 to 18 months from today, that's the beginning date of the 5 years.
Oh, shame on them. Okay, thank you, Adam. Thank you. I just want to live long enough to see that rock wall come down the front. So.
We'll get you a sledgehammer.
Yes, I would be the first one to use it. Okay, any other questions? I'll call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Pass 4-0. Mr. Kuckelman with the progress report.
Jared Kuckelman, Assistant City Manager. So recently, the Public Works Service Division replaced 9.5 yards of concrete to make repairs after a water main break on East 6th Street in front of Gordon's Carpet Center. Service Division also used 11 yards of concrete to make repairs to an alley entrance in the 1600 block of Walnut. Stormwater staff has been in the process of cleaning and inspecting stormwater basins as they do annually. They will inspect and clean around 300 basins this year. They also inspected Lincoln Tunnel, the areas of open channel, and many stormwater outfalls. The inspections help identify potential maintenance needs as well as illicit discharges, and they help keep the city in conformance with our KDHE MS4 stormwater drainage permit. The Women Who Lead recently purchased 6 new disc golf baskets for Sunrise Park, and city staff recently got those installed, and along with tee pads for the course. This course will now provide those on the east side of town a place to play disc golf. It's a shorter 6-hole layout that's designed for beginners who are just kind of getting into the sport, but it is also enjoyable for the seasoned veteran. Staff removed 4 unsafe cottonwood trees that were either dead or showing signs of dying to make way for some new trees to be put back in their place at West Frontier Park. And on that note, staff have been moving trees with the tree spade from the tree farm to various parks throughout town. The area in West Frontier where the 4 cottonwoods were cut down received 11 new spaded trees, bringing the total amount of new trees for West Frontier Park to 20.
Were those cottonwoods also that they were replacing them with, or did we replace them with something different?
I
Imagine
think they do a mix, but we do grow cottonwoods at the tree farm.
Cottonless, cottonwood?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Staff also recently removed the broken limestone fence posts and the temporary wire fence in the area of 10th and Main and installed a new fence near the crosswalks. Horizontal fence boards and brackets from the old fence were reused for the new fence, and staff worked with the Union Pacific Railroad to set up the work times in between train arrivals to clean up the broken fence.
It looks so good.
It really does, it looks really nice.
2 entry signs at the sports complex were refurbished due to excessive fading. IT staff recently oversaw the installation and configuration of radio base stations and the associated internet feeds for our AMI project. Staff at the R9 have been mowing fire breaks ahead of the prescribed burns planned for the coming spring. Backfires will be ignited into the breeze along the edges of the fire breaks to create a safe buffer before igniting any head fires. The head fires will then travel down the breeze to meet up with backfires. Staff at the R9 have also established an entrance to the proposed location of the Wellfields pump station. This entrance will provide access to the site for equipment associated with the upcoming geotechnical investigation that will assess the site's soil and subsurface conditions to determine if they're suitable for a proposed use such as construction or land development. CC Steel has been cleaning and inspecting sewer lines in the designated areas for the 2024 project. As of last week, the project was about 63.5% complete. Those who attended the Frost Fest parade might have noticed the Water Resources float along with Water Smart Wally. This was the first time Water Resources staff participated. They won overall judge's choice and got 3rd place in the People's Choice. City staff recently also responded to a water leak on the city's 20-inch transmission line by Countryside Estates on Vine Street. Assistance in repairing this leak was provided by M&D of Hayes and CC Steel. Holly Dickman was asked to present at the 74th Annual Turf and Landscape Conference in Manhattan on December 4th. She presented on water smart landscaping and why she chooses to no longer use the word xeriscape, as it is often misunderstood and maybe mispronounced. For the FHSU Tiger Auction donation this year, the CVB partnered with downtown property owner Adam Prey to offer a one-of-a-kind Frost Fest VIP experience. The winning bidder won an overnight stay in the 2nd floor loft for prime Frost Fest parade viewing, complete with hot cocoa bar, Christmas cookies, and a private visit from Santa after the parade. CVB participated in the Frost Fest parade as well as one of the lead vehicles and displayed the parade-themed banner. You can see highlighted there in the circle in the second photo the Frost Fest VIP experience winners enjoying their view of the parade. The RCB box extension on 13th Street as part of the reconstruction project is continuing to take shape. The south end should be complete at any moment in the near future, and one-way traffic can be established at that time. The KHB hangar project is also continuing to take shape. And then finally, department heads hosted the annual Employee Appreciation Lunch. Employees enjoyed a meal from Thirsties while department heads cleared tables and refilled drinks for the employees. Any questions?
Lots of good progress, lots of stuff happening. Okay, I think we can move on to Hayes Happenings. Jared Kuckelman.
I'll do my best to summarize the numerous events going on in Hayes in January. So the 41st annual 5-state photography exhibition will be on display at the Hayes Arts Council from January 2nd through February 12th.
Have you seen that one yet?
If not,
It's pretty cool.
I saw some of their photos online. They look nice. The Fox Theater has 3 shows going on in January. On January 1st is Comedy Night featuring John Reap. On January 17th is Sunset Sinners. And January 31st is Giovanni and the Hired Guns. Fort Hays State basketball has several home games throughout the month of January, beginning on January 7th against Nebraska Kearney, which will be sponsored by the Hays Regional Airport. The Bob Kuhn Prairie Classic Wrestling Tournament is happening out at Hays High on January 24th and 25th. This tournament is expecting 25 teams and over 200 wrestlers. The Fort Hays State Rodeo Gala will be on January 25th from 5:30 to 9 a.m. This fundraiser is to benefit the Fort Hays State Rodeo, and it includes a silent auction, buffet-style dining, and more. Tickets are $50 per person, and that'll be out at the Ellis County Fairgrounds. Taste of Hays will be on January 26th at the Rose Garden. This event offers samplings of culinary creations from local restaurants and vendors while supporting Kansas Big Brothers Big Sisters serving Ellis County. Only 300 tickets are available for this event at $50 per person. And then the 40th Annual Chamber Awards Banquet will be on January 28th at 5:30 p.m. in the Fort Hays State Memorial Union. Tickets are $60 per person and include social hour, dinner with dessert and wine, and then the awards program. As Melissa always says, there's plenty more events and more at the events calendar at visithays.com.
There is. Thank you very much, Jared, for taking care of all of that for us. Commissioner inquiries, comments? Commissioner Musil?
I don't have a lot. Just hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And Toby, now you told us you're going to, in 2025, going to make sure the R9 approval's done, correct?
I'm doing my best.
What I heard.
We're going to hold you to that, Toby, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Otherwise, he might be in your seat. You know?
Whoa.
That's a threat.
No, we got
Sounds serious to me.
we got a lot of development starting in 2025, and a lot of good things coming up. So it's going to be a good New Year, hopefully.
Commissioner Barrick?
Yes, looking for an epic year. It's nice having we had a nice foggy Christmas, but all I can say is that I'm glad that there wasn't ice for all of us that were traveling down the interstate or down the road. Didn't see a lot of accidents with people sliding into ditches or anything like that, so it seemed like a nice, happy, and safe holiday. So look forward to keeping that going. And here's my question for you, Toby. We've done such a spectacular job with sewer inspections, and how that's really sort of probably saved us money along the way by keeping everything sort of up to date and safe. Is there even a way to do that with water lines? As far as inspecting them ahead of time, like we do with the sewers, to see what.
Jeff Crispin, Director of Water Resources. There is some technology out there to inspect water lines. It's quite involved because you're taking down sections of, like, you had multiple blocks that you would have to take them out of service basically, and they can inspect some of those water lines. Kind of not the same camera. It has to be a water safe camera, disinfected, to be able to go in and look at them. But it can be done.
Just be
Do you want to call those?
call all the people and say, hey, we're
Okay,
shutting
we're
down for
shutting it down.
for a day.
I think they're going to take their chances on a water line.
I think they probably would too.
But it's a great question.
It is a great
It's a
question.
great question.
Well, I guess the distinction I would make is with the sewer line, it's out of sight, out of mind. And if you don't inspect it, usually you don't know there's a problem until there's a catastrophic failure.
Right.
That could have been avoided if you would have done a lining or a point repair or something like that. Where water lines are different, water lines are typically in pretty good shape until they start breaking. And I think that's where Jeff and his staff are pretty good at, if there's a break and they cut into the pipe to put a patch in and the pipe is in good shape, they can assume it was an anomaly. But then the more they get, that's when it sort of rises up in the ranks of, hey, we need to get this line replaced. So it's a lot more visible when a line is failing rather than just going from it's all good to catastrophic failure.
And I can add, if you look at the CIP, future CIPs, and in the queue in the bottom, those lines are identified because they may have been a problem in the past, high break areas. A year and a half ago, Commission approved the replacement of Walnut from 10th all the way up to 17th, which is done. And that area, just by the Old Hayes High administration area, we probably had 6 breaks along a 1 block stretch. And so when we identify things in our future budgets, we look at high break frequency areas or quality issues.
Okay, thank you. I just want to say it was also been fun to see when they're getting the AMI structures out on the water tower. So it's
Close proximity to you out there.
very close. So I'm enthusiastic about that project moving forward. So anyway, just happy holidays to everybody, and happy that the weather's holding out. We don't have icy roads to slide around on.
Commissioner Rear.
Yep. Jamie, congratulations again. That's a high honor, and I'm glad it's going to you. You're well deserving of it. I also want to congratulate Jared on his new role as Assistant City Manager. Congratulations. Another well-deserved position. I think all I have is hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and have a safe and Happy New Year. And please do not drink and drive. State and local police, I'll be looking for you.
Isn't there like a statewide, something
Yes.
they're doing right now, looking for drunk drivers? So, I mean, it's not like they're hiding. I mean, they're letting you know they're out there, so.
There's lots of ways that you can stay safe.
Yep.
Call friends. There's Ubers around here in town.
I always say I'm sitting there waiting. Anybody wants to call me, I'll be glad to come pick them up.
Yes. So be safe.
Thank you. I too want to congratulate first, Jared. We just extremely proud of how you've worked through the process here, and the smile on your face tells us that you're happy about it, because we certainly are. It was nice information to get. And Jamie, you really have a big role ahead, and I'm excited for you. I've known every single city clerk since Dorothy Soderblom. How long ago was that, Don?
Me too.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's just close enough to me. And so there's lots of great shoes to fill, but you will find your own way, and you will do great things at your own time. So we're really excited about that for you. 2025, I can't wait. We don't have a work session meeting next week. So I do want to, along with the Merry Christmas, am I right? Did you just suck in, am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Okay.
No work session next week, and most likely no meeting on the
meeting
9th,
following.
but that'll probably be sent out next week sometime.
So thinking about what's happening in 2025, I mean, it's just really exciting year. I'm excited that I get to be mayor during that year. We have the start of the police station will start next year, in the remodel of the police station. Grow Hayes will begin the Grove. It's actually starting now. If you go out and watch the dirt work or see the drone they have that has moved all the dirt around, we're going to see some houses next spring. The community center is going to be completed next summer, which is near and dear to my heart. I've made that promise 7 years ago now, and it's actually going to happen in 2025 while I'm still here. So that's very exciting. We love everything you're doing, Adam, in downtown, and all the other people that are investing in our community and continue to invest. It's an amazing place to live and work, and I just want to wish everybody a very happy new year. We don't need an executive session. We're adjourned.
Too late now.
Yeah.